We know that this car is faster round the Nürburgring than a Porsche 911 Turbo, which costs twice as much. We know it's faster across Japan than the bullet train. But what we don't know, because last week I was on the public roads and it was fitted with an electronic speed muzzle, is what it's like when you really put your foot down. So when the race was over, I stayed in Japan for an extra day to see if I could find out. This is the Fuji race circuit. There's no speed limit here. No traffic either. And best of all, no need to be worried by the Nissan speed governor. On normal roads, all Japanese cars are limited to 112 miles an hour. But the GTR's sat-nav system knows when it gets to a racetrack and simply turns the limiter off. First of all, I must apologise for the sunglasses. This is because yesterday I picked up a hideous eye infection, and I really don't think you want to see it. This, though, I think you do want to see. Flappy paddle gearbox into manual, then we put the gearbox itself into race mode, the suspension into race mode, we put that button down to engage the launch control, left foot on the brake, build up the revs. Here we go. It's hard to say how much power the GTR develops because each engine, as I said last week, is hand-built, and each one is therefore a little bit different. But I think they put 1,000,000 horsepower in this one because the acceleration is just blistering. It's just savage. God, face-ripping. With the launch control engaged, I did 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds. And flat out, it's even more impressive. Partly that's down to the 1,000,000 horsepower 3.8-litre twin-turbo V6. And partly it's down to the shape of the body. It looks like a discordant mess, like Stravinsky designed it. But every crease and every angle, even on the door mirrors, is there to channel air to that big rear spoiler. The result is absolute stability and a top speed of, well, since this track has the longest straight of any Grand Prix circuit, let's find out. 160 kph there, 190, 220, come on! 240, into 6th gear at 250 kph, 260, 275, and I'm on the brakes. It will eventually do 193 miles an hour, and that's impressive for a car that's quiet and comfortable. A car with 4 seats and a boot. And it's especially impressive when you think it wasn't really built for straight-line speed. Mostly it was built to mash your mind in the corners. The axles are assembled on hydraulic rigs that replicate the weight of the car, so the geometry is bang on before the suspension is bolted to the body. It uses its yaw sensor and G sensor to measure actual yaw rate and can then adjust the Damptronic shock absorbers and the four-wheel drive system every 100th of a second to bring the car into line with a preordained target. I don't understand any of that, but I do understand this. The GTR can corner so fast and so violently, each wheel has a special knurling on the rim to stop the tyres coming off. It is extremely hard to explain how this feels. Agony is probably the best word. The onboard readout is telling me that in that last corner, I generated 1 1/5 more sideways gravity. I wish my collar had a knurled rim. It would stop my head coming off. When you really get going at this kind of speed, You expect to feel detached from the action, like you're playing a video game, just pressing buttons. But incredibly, it feels mechanical, it feels analog, it feels human. It feels fan-bleeding-tastic. I thought when I drove the Mitsubishi Evo 10 the other day that there was no way the GTR could be worth twice as much money. I mean, I just thought there's no way it can be twice as good, but it is, and some.
They haven't built a new car here. They've built a new yardstick. Now, at this point, I was going to tell you about the incredible brakes and the turbo whistle, and how Lotus secretly developed the spine of this car. But before I had a chance, I had a bit of a problem.
My neck's just gone. Oh. What I need is painkillers. Honestly, I hate to cause the fuss because